Hello and welcome. The Eric Zane Show podcast has begun. I think I'm here. Hello. Hello, Eric Zane Show podcast. Who's this?
This is your pal, President Trump. How are you doing, Big Fraud Zane?
Mr. President, thank you. Thank you. To what do I owe the privilege?
Well, my man, let me tell you, I caught wind of from one of my assistants of your great appearance on that local Fox News station, let me tell you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you saw it then you obviously heard the news.
Well, I've heard the news, of course. You've talked to me, of course, about it before. But, I mean, it's great that the local Fox News station's picking you up. So this new morning radio gig, Big Fraud, you know it, of course, I'm probably one of your biggest supporters if you think about it. This insane asylum, is that what they're calling it?
Yes, sir, that is it. That's what the show is known as. You know, it's kind of like it's insane, but it's a play on my word, on my name. Insane, get it?
Absolutely. It's tremendous. You know, you've got the energy, Big Fraud, the charisma, the whole package. I mean, I've always said it. You've got the best energy, actually. Folks are saying it all over. Now it's even on Fox News. It's just tremendous, Big Fraud.
I'm a little bit taken back by the glowing review of me, sir. It seems like we've had like a mixed bag in the past. What's going on there? How come you're so all about EZ?
Well, I think you're doing great things. You're shaking things up, Big Fraud. You're electrifying the airwaves soon. I think it's going to be great. And let me tell you, I've got an itch to join you on this wonderful morning show. Imagine the impact, okay. Big Fraud Zane, me connecting with my wonderful northern base in northern Michigan. Well, yes. It's all through the insane asylum.
It is. There's no doubt you have a large base in northern Michigan. And they
Oh, it's a match made in heaven if you think about it. I mean, think of the numbers we could draw, Big Fraud. I think this is a great opportunity. Great opportunity.
I agree. And you know, if it were up to me, you would be, you know, a daily feature is having. I mean, think about.
Well, that's what I like to hear, Big Fraud Zane. We'll make it the talk of the town, the highlight of your show. Together, we'll dominate the airwaves just like we dominate everywhere else, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Big Fraud, nobody knows domination like we do, folks. We're talking about winning, and nobody wins better than Donald Trump.
That's absolutely true, but I don't know if the managers of the radio.
Well, Big Fraud Zane, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to make this happen.
Sure.
Let's keep up the tremendous work, my friend.
Sure.
And remember, when Trump's on air, we make headlines, big league headlines.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I had even said it on this show, but. And I couldn't get in a word edgewise with him, but the radio company is. I don't know if they're down with this. I don't know if they are interested in Trump actually being part of it. In fact, I know for a fact that they said point blank that no, we don't want to do that. In fact, now Trump is sending me material to play on the air. Like
Big Fraud Zane, so terrific to hear you on morning radio again. As you know, of course, I'm your biggest supporter. So I wanted to wish you well on this first week of your new show and make a request. And let me tell you, when it comes to Bon Jovi, nobody rocks it better. I mean, John Bon Jovi, what a guy. Tremendous talent, really. He's got that voice, you know. I've met him before. Great guy, really. We've got a lot in common, believe me. We both know what it takes to succeed, to persevere. And when he belts out those wonderful words, take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. It's like he's speaking right to me. Right to all of us, actually. Jesus, so, Big Fraud Zane, play this wonderful tune, Living on a Prayer. It's not just a song, it's a rallying cry. And with tunes like these, we'll keep on winning. And we know your morning show will do great numbers with tunes like that. No one rocks Michigan harder than Q100 Michigan and my pal, Big Fraud Zane on the Insane Asylum. Let's keep it going, folks.
Okay, well, that was marred by Darla. What? What did I I do? I'm sitting here doing the same thing I do every day. You're screaming at me. What? I haven't even moved. I'm just minding my own business. What the fuck? Come here. Come here. Come here, God damn it. White trash dog. Come here. Come on. Come here. You little fuck. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't like Trump. Megan says she's going to shit on the floor for sure. Okay. But by the way, have you ever met this dog, Megan? I don't know if you have. She is a handful. Okay, now concerning Trump. I mean, I want to put Trump on the morning show. And the boss... Kenny says, did you really just say that? Say what? You talking about Megan? Anyway. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying. Trump is not, as far as I know, not going to be on Q100. So he's going to have a goddamn fit when it's time, when he finds that out, because Jerry, JC, the number 2, he wants to put Trump on. And the number 1 is JC's wife, Cheryl. She is, she's the goddamn boss. And she said, no, it's too polarizing. Now, in my head, I'm like, 9 out of 10 people up there are voting for Trump. And I sent her the clip that I just played. And I got no response. So I am guessing that, because I said, look, why don't we just do Trump on sports? We won't even talk politics. I go, you think about it, this is just too good. Trump is supposed to join me on the huge show today, right at 3. Okay? I guess Kenny made a comment about me saying white trash dog. And YouTube flagged it. That happens all the damn time. Yeah, you got to be careful. Because they look at that as some type of like a racial slur. Ryan says, I think you're sending mixed messages to the former president. Why didn't you just tell him just now that he can't be on? That was a perfect opportunity. Bullshit, I was trying, and he kept just going, and every time I try to say it, he would go off and continue to talk about whatever the fuck he was talking about, and then he just hung up on me. I don't know. I think this poses an interesting set of circumstances in our dynamic of our relationship. Okay, like 2-3 minutes ago, we had barking angrily, Darla. And there's potential we're going to get crying in my face, Darla, because I just heard a whimper. Sometimes this dog is the exact same type of mentality as Kenny, either screaming in my face or actually crying. I got to put up with that. I put up with that on the chat, and I put up with that at my house. I should have called this dog Kenny. Linda says, did you say Trump will be on Huge today? Yes, because I'm hosting the Huge show all this week, and Trump is supposed to be on the show like right at the start of it, like right at 3. Kenny says WTF. No, that's a perfect description. The dog should be, that dog's nickname is Kenny. Either screaming at me or crying. That's how it goes. All right. I want to get into a little bit of this talk on TikTok. You're like, oh, easy. How could you possibly be talking about that? No, this is very interesting to me. But I'm going to need a little bit more particulars as to why. I think the idea is that TikTok is owned by Chinese company. And then the fear is that the Chinese are using TikTok to spy on Americans, getting their data. I wish when they would describe these things, they would say their data could be compromised, which would lead to. Tell me particularly why that's so bad, because I know there's a lot of people. There's 170 million users of TikTok in the U.S. alone. A lot of those people are like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. Okay? So the bill is being voted on today by the House, and it's likely going to pass if it hasn't already. This is a short story to go along with it. In theory. Okay.
TikTok. The app has 5. In just about 3 hours, House lawmakers are set to vote on a bill that could ban TikTok. The app has 5 months to cut ties from its parent company, ByteDance, which is linked to China, or be banned. Now, TikTok has over 1 billion monthly active users and growing. CBS News is reporting that protests are expected outside the Capitol this morning. And the ACLU is on the side of TikTok creators, saying that a ban would violate the First Amendment. Now, while looking into this story, I saw so many people sharing how they use this platform to earn an income. And for many people, this is their job. This is their full-time job. It brought in $14.3 billion worth of revenue in 2023. And the app even encourages it, offering a path toward monetizing videos through the TikTok Creator Fund. TikTok sent users this notification right now on your screen. It's urging people to contact their representatives about the legislation, and this morning's vote is set for 10 a.m., and we will keep you posted.
Corey gave this away when we talked about it, when I was teasing it on the free podcast, that ByteDance has to divest. That means sell it to an American company in order for it to stay a thing. And if I'm ByteDance, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I want the money. Why would I just... It's either they sell it, though, or they get nothing, or they just lose the market of 178 million people. So ultimately, this is how I predict this is going to go. ByteDance will cave and will sell it because money rules over all. And that's how it will go. And all of these creators, nothing will be slowed down on their side of things. And frankly, it should be that way. I don't even know if this company started out with the intention of, all right, stealing your information. Again, and if that's me, I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're stealing my information. Unless if you tap into my bank account. Okay? Kenny says, I believe our politicians are hurting us far more than TikTok. Well, I guess it depends on who you support. I think that argument can be made about anybody. Nick says, China figuring out how stupid most of us are. So the USA wants to tax TikTok, Megan says. No, I don't think so much that. I mean, creators, if they create on TikTok, they are paying tax on the money that they make. That goes without saying. But the idea then that a person's information is being stolen. And I just wish it would say, yes, so that means that what can happen? What ultimately can happen, or what is happening? And I don't think you're going to be able to convince the American people that this should happen if you don't actually give a tangible type of information as to what exactly is happening if people are utilizing the app. I mean, you're going to say, oh, yeah, your information could get stolen. It's like, my information gets stolen all the fucking time. Who gives a shit? I mean, is it going to make me I don't know. Does that mean that you have nuclear codes now and you can blow up the world? If it's a U.S.-based company, wouldn't they end up paying taxes in the U.S.? You're right. Maybe that's it. I see what you're saying now. I don't know. In fact, I'd like to see right now, because I think that vote was supposed to happen at 10 a.m., and it might be going on right now. TikTok ban. All it says 22 minutes ago, the House is likely to pass a bill that could ban TikTok, sending it to the Senate, where it will also likely pass. And Biden already said he's going to sign it. TikTok, owned by China-based parent company ByteDance, is mounting an aggressive lobbying campaign to kill the legislation, arguing that it would violate the First Amendment rights of its 170 million users and harm thousands of small businesses that rely on it. You will be destroying small businesses like us. This is our livelihood. We've created success. A little bit more.
American politics, as Congress is set to vote later this morning on a bill with the potential to ban the wildly popular app if it's not divested by its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, within 6 months. TikTok launching an all-out lobbying effort, encouraging its users to come to its defense.
Save TikTok!
You need to make your voices heard.
Call them and tell them to stop the ban.
Oh, no. I hope they ban it based on that chick's face.
Influencers, along with its CEO, to Washington, where it has a healthy lobbying operation and even releasing ads.
TikTok helps me to achieve the mission that God put me on this earth.
Oh, great.
On both sides.
You got some clergy member talking about with nice piano music. That's the tactic that they're using to try to get people to vote otherwise.
The aisle are concerned about the potential for the Chinese government to access the data of TikTok's 170 million plus American users.
This app has the potential of being a mass surveillance tool against American people.
I've never ever winced when people talk about that, because I just got into an argument about somebody on Reddit about this exact thing, because there are license plate readers in Grand Rapids on our city streets, and people are like, yeah, that's Big Brother, we can't have that. I was like, why not? Yeah, because it's not up to us to give up our freedoms to let the cops do their jobs easier. I'm like, well, I don't. Yes, you're right. It would make their job easier if, like, little Johnny's stolen, and the bad guys are in the car with him in the back driving down the street, or they're trying to track down somebody who held up a fucking liquor store. I mean, that's what. Yeah, but I don't want. Yeah, my fucking privacy shouldn't be compromised. It's not. You're not the one they're looking for. I get into that argument all the time with people. I am the first one to say, who gives a fuck? It's fine. No one gives a shit about you.
The U.S. government has said in the past that Chinese companies, including ByteDance, are compelled to share their data with the Chinese government.
So what?
TikTok has repeatedly denied that ByteDance is an agent of the Chinese government.
Maybe I'm just too dumb. Maybe there's just a lot I don't know, and that might be the case.
Adding in a new statement, this legislation has a predetermined outcome, a total ban of TikTok in the United States. And lawmakers are also worried about TikTok's influence on young people's mental health. A former Google executive turned critic told 60 Minutes, look no further than how different China's version is.
They show you science experiments you can do at home, museum exhibits, patriotism videos, and educational videos. And they make their domestic version a spinach version of TikTok, while they ship the opium version to the rest of the world.
Well, yeah, thank God. I don't want to see science experiments. I want to see fucking kids doing the fucking Rasputin dance.
And there are concerns about misinformation spreading on the app in an election year.
They can make you believe things that are not true.
As the candidates are weighing in,
Anybody who watches anything on any internet source nowadays and isn't immediately suspicious of it is a fucking fool. If I am on this podcast and I say the sky is blue, you better take it with a grain of salt, because anything you see, anything, can be filtered. Just like that AI version of me that said that I wanted to see a kid eating a vagina. That was all AI.
President Donald Trump has recently signaled opposition to the ban after previously supporting it. The Washington Post.
I should have asked Trump about it, but he was too busy complimenting me on the morning show.
Reporting that former Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway is defending TikTok on Capitol Hill and that she has told Trump many of his supporters are on TikTok. President Biden,
I used to think she was hot, but not anymore.
for his part, says he'd sign the bill that could ban TikTok, even as his campaign uses the platform to court voters.
Yeah, that's interesting. Biden says he'll sign the bill. He uses the app, and a lot of people that would be most likely to vote for him use the app in an election cycle.
The state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Now, TikTok says it does not believe a divestment deal could be done within a 6-month timeline. And Savannah, we reached out to TikTok overnight about those concerns about its impact on youth mental health and the differences with the Chinese version of the app. We have not heard back, but the company has said in the past that it does offer screen time limits for young people. Savannah?
All right. Thank you very much, Savannah. Let's turn now to longtime tech journalist Kara Swisher, host.
No, thank you. Megan has an update for us. Thank you very much on the actual vote. That is so cool. She says 283 yays to 45 nays and 102 not voting. That means it passes. Wow. Kenny says, I want funny videos that make me laugh, not science experiments. You know how many times I've watched panda bears do somersaults in the snow on TikTok? Tim the Lawnmower Man. I lay in bed and fall asleep to Tim the Lawnmower Man. What's the name of the guy who does the restorations? Odd Tinkering. I watch Odd Tinkering videos on TikTok. Our beloved Darla is starting to go full Kenny. Can't even see her. There she is. No, I need that shit. Megan says, I watch pandas on TikTok all the time. Funny animals are the best. The pool guy cleaning all the sick-ass pools. Oh, I'm all about that guy. So you got some green pool and all of a sudden it's clean? All day. How about rug cleaner guy? Rug cleaner guy is fantastic. You get the rugs black as Wesley Snipes, and the next thing you know, it's as white as a polar bear. Aram says, what is it about TikTok that makes it special? Truth be told, I don't care what platform it's on, as long as it's not that long, it moves, it's edited well, and it appeals to the part of my brain that brings me satisfaction. Stevie says, mountain rugs. Yes, I love them. How about the fact that rug cleaner is made to look like R2-D2? Ugh. Linda says, I used to watch the panda cams at the National Zoo until China took the pandas away. You can get them on TikTok. Kenny says, it's just where most of the videos are. Is all, Aram. It caught on and Facebook tried to copy it with their Reels, but TikTok did it first. Yeah, I don't give a shit if it's Reels, YouTube Shorts, or it's TikTok, or even a Twitter video. I don't care. As long as it's short, captivates me, takes me to a world, a faraway place for a short amount of time. That's what it does. That's how a lot of people are entertained while they're laying in bed. We don't even watch TV anymore. It's all about rug cleaning, rust removal, maybe a guy building a shelter in the middle of the woods using nothing but hand tools. Lawnmower guy, panda bears, Rasputin dance. There was a little D who lived long ago. The rug cleaner called Dirt Reynolds with the googly eye. Yes! Oh my God, I love it. Come on, Darla. Knock it off. So another story about yet another incident on a giant jetliner was leaking fuel, Boeing plane. This is the continued problems. I'm of the opinion that these problems have always happened. Oh, we're going back to the airport, but now people are finally paying attention after the door blew out. I'm going somewhere with this, but I can't continue with her crying. I need to bring her over here with us because she's pouting. This is what you have to do with Kenny. So if Kenny were here, he would be sobbing on the floor, and I would have to pick him up and put him in my lap. Oh. Rah, rah, Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine. Oh. It's like having a baby, you know, seriously. But this, the guy who was blowing the whistle on Boeing, he's dead. He was getting set to testify. And suddenly he winds up dead. Oh my God. Raise your hand if you think someone had him killed.
Troubles for Boeing tonight. A longtime worker, 32 years with Boeing, turned whistleblower, alleging safety issues. Found dead. Authorities say he took his own life.
Yeah, right.
And it comes amid a new report tonight, the FAA audit of Boeing's production line and what it found. Here's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, a Boeing whistleblower now dead from an apparent suicide only days after his lawyer says he'd been deposed. John Barnett worked for Boeing for 32 years and was involved in a lawsuit alleging serious safety concerns with the 787 Dreamliner and retaliation from the company. His lawyers say Barnett was in very good spirits, and we didn't see any indication he would take his own life. But police in South Carolina say he died Saturday from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. His body found inside a car in a hotel parking lot. In January, just weeks after a door plug flew off an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9, Barnett spoke with TMZ Live.
What we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection of steps being removed, issues being ignored.
Since that incident, a 6-week FAA review of the Boeing production line has raised new concerns. The New York Times reporting Boeing failed 33 of 89 audits, and Boeing supplier Spirit Aerosystems, which builds the 737 MAX fuselage, failed more than half of its 13 audits.
As difficult and as painful these inspections are for Boeing, they will help them get back to basics to be able to begin to earn the trust of the FAA and the flying public.
David, Boeing says they are saddened by John Barnett's passing, but his attorneys say they're shocked. They're calling for a full police investigation into his death. David?
All right, Trevor Ault tonight. Thank you, Trevor.
Okay, this is on par with Russia, like when Navalny. Oh, yeah, he died, a Russian opposition leader. He just died in prison. Come on. There's no way this guy was not murdered. Holy shit. Ryan says, from the picture to the video, though, he did let himself go. Now I don't know. Now he seemed fine. There's no way that guy wasn't murdered. Wow, that is something. Hard to believe. Well, actually, it's quite easy to believe. Dave Portnoy, who I think that guy is fucking funny. Deadspin goes out of business again. Deadspin went out of business once, and now they're out of business again. I guess some equity group bought them and immediately laid everybody off. You're seeing this happen more and more. By the way, Cumulus almost had something like this happen. There was a attempt at what's known as a hostile takeover, where a company overseas, India, I believe, went ahead and tried to buy all of the common stock of Cumulus Media. If they were successful in doing that, this company out of India would have had enough of a controlling interest that they could have forced a hostile takeover and wiped out the board and then taken over the whole goddamn company. You see this from time to time with companies that are struggling. Stocks are sold on the cheap, easy to accumulate all of what's common in short order with a pile of money. Cumulus falls under that because it's not exactly a what do you call it? A blue chip stock or anything like that. It's quite inexpensive. Some of these radio station stocks, radio company stocks, are like 20 or 30 cents a share. Cumulus isn't quite that bad. But anyway, so that was the thing. And then Cumulus did what's known as a poison pill. You go ahead and deliberately decrease the cost of the shares and make them available to your stockholders only, to your shareholders only. Something like that. I'm probably getting some degree of that wrong. So then those people go that they know, it's like the devil you know, and buy up all of the stock that the equity company overseas was looking to buy themselves. And that prevents the hostile takeover. It's kind of like a way of you're going to devalue your stock just so that people that you don't know don't do a hostile takeover. I go through all of that because this just happened again to Deadspin. They were purchased by a European startup, and then the company that purchased them immediately laid off all of the employees of Deadspin, who has only been back in business for 2, maybe 3 years. This is a direct competitor to Barstool Sports. Portnoy is kind of an asshole who I'm just a big fan of. I love this type of behavior. His mentality, his delivery, he's funny. Okay? I like Dave Portnoy. There's been some stories about him being kind of a creep. He's been accused of some terrible things. He denies all of them. So he's one bad day away from not being a guy that I would look to for any type of comedy or insight. But this is Portnoy popping the top on a second bottle of champagne after yet another fall of Deadspin, because it's already happened once before, years ago. They brought it back, and now it's happened again. Here you go.
Listen, even I'm getting confused. How many times can I pop a bottle for the same goddamn company? How many times can I kill Deadspin? How many times can Julie DeCaro lose her goddamn job? It seems like infinity. But here we are, once again, new bottle of champagne floating around. Hey, Miss Peaches.
Looking at his dog.
Miss Peaches. Get her out so I
Never met all your hair goals?
Bullshit.
Meet Pros. Truly custom hair care, personalized.
Go back to business, boys. Deadspin. Out of business, bought, everyone fired for the 90th straight time. This is just kicking a dead-ass dog. But you know what? I'm not beyond it. There we go. To Deadspin. Everybody getting fired again. Those motherfuckers just don't get it. Being miserable, hating life, never laughing. It's never gonna pay the bills. See you motherfuckers on the employment.
Oh, fucking A. All right. Hey, there's a bird feeder. I got Pooh Bear. It knows that I want to buy that.
Again. Victory!
Oh, fuck. Kicking a dead-ass dog? Ryan says YouTube's ads are getting out of control. I know, but that's okay. Whatever, you can't complain about ads because that's all I do is ads on that free podcast. If I didn't have ads on the free podcast, goddamn, we have no show. Let's see. Ryan comments about Boeing, haha, they're saddened. The guy totally destroyed our company. We'd like to pass along our condolences. No, that's a bunch of bullshit. Say, yeah, we're glad he's dead. Be honest about it. Folks, that is my time. As always, I thank you for being here on the Patreon Bonus Podcast. I'll talk to you down the road. Check me out on The Huge Show. Word on the street is Trump opens up the show on 96.1. Till next time, have a good one, folks. Bye-bye. Hello. Welcome into the Patreon Bonus Podcast, AC with you. This will kind of be how I do this. Come Monday, get done with the free podcast. Start the Patreon Bonus Podcast. That is, to me, going to be the way it will be going forward. That allows me to keep the momentum going because I don't know how my body is going to react from starting doing morning radio and then diving into the podcast world. So just do it. Just fucking don't think, do. So tomorrow, my day goes like this. The idea is start the show early because I have someone that's going to be here at 10 a.m. The podcast day needs to be done tomorrow by 10 a.m. So the podcast day happens like any other day. It's going to start earlier, though. When I'm done podcasting at 10 a.m., I've got people that will be in this room setting me up with the equipment that I need to be able to broadcast throughout northern Michigan and to the world via the Q100 app from right here in this studio. My God, I am nervous as hell about this. Not so much about the technology side of it. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm in good hands. It just seems like until I start to actually do this and accomplish it, and oh my God, yes, what I'm saying is going out to the world and it's working. Until I actually get my feet wet, it's nerves. And I'm usually not nervous. I'm not nervous about so much of the business of actually speaking on the air. I think I'm kind of anticipating something could go wrong. Meaning from the technology standpoint. Probably not. But the reason why, what keeps me understanding that it's no big deal is because the folks at Q100 already do this. What they do is they have their main studio in Grayling, of all places, which we've talked about. And then they have another studio in Traverse City at that insane asylum that I was telling you about. That literally, it's a former insane asylum where crazy people used to live. It's the most haunted place you could ever be if you ever drive through that place. I forget what it's called. It used to be an old school state hospital where they gave lobotomies. And now it's shops. And near one of the areas there, one of the buildings is this radio station. And what they do is people come in, like there's this guy, Jabo, does this show right from there. Jabo's on in the afternoon. It's called Jabo's Soundcheck. He starts at 2. And he goes to the Traverse City station, and he's got this mirror screen, which shows exactly what they see in Grayling. So Joe Mama, who's on middays, she'll be in the studio, like touching the computer, and then all of a sudden the mouse will start moving. That's what she's doing. Or he's doing it. And she's like, oh, you're taking over. Okay, see you later. I'm going. It's about time to start your show. And that's how they do it. And that's the same thing that's going to happen here. Oh, my God. I just hope I don't screw anything up. That's all I'm afraid of. You know? Ryan says you'll do great, Big Fraud. You've been doing radio for 100 years. Don't forget your beautiful hair will guide you. Chris says, we're nervous as hell, bad. I want to ultimately be doing this where, like, I can do the whole show on Patreon. The music, me in the room. I'll be sitting here looking at the computer monitor, but I almost want to do it in real life. IRL. I don't know. There's about 1,000,001 options that we could do. I think all I'm going to concern myself with to start is just getting on the radio. And I expect full beat-ups, all right, based on what you hear. Okay? The first show is ideal for hilarity. So whatever happens, get the audio, whatever you need to do. You got to get that to Karl. You got to get that to Christian. You got to get it to me with, okay, what happened here? You need to be picking apart what you hear. I talked with Christian about the insane asylum yesterday. And I go, buddy, yeah, this is all fair. We have to destroy me. I need to be Jocktobered on this. You can always do run-throughs with your wonderful Patreon audience. Yeah, I know that, Ryan. I know that. We will absolutely have a lot of fun at my expense. Can I slice up the audio and help roast you on an upcoming Who Are These Zanes? Absolutely. This reminds me, I should bring Karl in here to give him the word on this. Karl, not exactly a fan of radio these days. I'm curious if he'll even pick it up. Sometimes he's just super busy. Hey, Karl, how are you? I'm podcasting right now.
Awesome. What's going on, buddy?
I have some new material for you to review and have a lot of fun with.
Will this be the insane asylum that I've been hearing about?
You are going to have a ball. Oh, yeah. My God. Yeah, because, this is a radio show, so it's a different animal. And people know how I am based on the shows I do with you and on Who Are These Broadcasters and my show. So this could be, I'm encouraging the audience to pay close attention and to do the heavy lifting for you, to send you clips, all that stuff. Same thing with Christian. So we might have a perpetual amount of material from the insane asylum.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I had a question for you. I'm glad you called me, because I thought you already did a morning show. Am I crazy?
No, I did a weekend show on an oldies station.
No. I mean right now. You're doing a morning show right now.
Yeah.
Isn't this what you're doing right now, a morning show?
Yes, I see what you're saying now. I'm going to change the time of my normal podcast.
See, I thought you should just simulcast, because that way, on your radio show, you're on the air 10% of the time?
Oh, yeah.
So simulcast, you could do two birds with one stone. Do your radio show and do your podcast, and when you're playing music or commercials, you're on the podcast.
So kind of like double dip, two at once.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, man, get paid from two sources at the same time.
I'm suspecting that you want me to do that, so I'll accidentally leave a volume thing on, and I'll tell someone on the radio to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, you start yelling at a chatter. Yeah, I know my equipment sucks right now. Go fuck yourself. I'm sure Q100 would love that.
Oh, my God. Now, word on the street is Jamingo sent you some material of me doing something embarrassing.
That's correct. It made Cringe of the Week yesterday. I'm actually uploading the episode right
okay.
now.
Which one was it? What went down?
I can't remember the guy's name, but someone who's a regular viewer of your show teased you because you were having some equipment issues, and it wasn't the right time for you to take that.
It was, yeah, okay.
Good-natured ribbing. He got very upset with this gentleman and told him he couldn't listen for the rest of the day.
Yes, I remember. That was when I had a temper tantrum at Aram. Aram is his name.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, yeah, I believe it. I love that John watches all the time. I mean, he's big on the show. And then, I love that he's still paying attention, because we kind of really don't get along too well.
Yeah, I was wondering what your status was with him. It seems like when he sends me stuff, it's not because he wants to celebrate you.
No, which I'm glad he does send that stuff, because to me, whenever anybody sees me, that's always a plus. I don't mind being talked about on the world famous Who Are These podcasts.
Well, you did have the very famous rant of more of me and less of you makes for a better show.
Yes, and that's
I'll never forget.
That's very true. I mean, everybody knows that, right, Karl?
I get it. I understand. I keep telling Christian on WATP, more of Eric. Those are always my notes.
All right. Hey, I really appreciate you, having Christian and I do that show. We really enjoy ourselves, and it's always a great time. Christian is an absolute riot.
Yeah, I got to listen while I was out riding my bike yesterday. 70 degrees here in Rochester in March. That's normal.
Yeah.
So I was out riding my bike and listening to who are these broadcasters, and the time flew right by.
I've never heard him cackle so hard as to when he saw the footage of me on the news talking about the insane asylum.
Oh, yeah. He's so happy about that.
It's so embarrassing. My God. Yeah, because that's whenever I do shit like that, that's like that's Eric Zaitunian. That's a character. Eric Zaitunian is a character, which is my real name. Eric Zane is who I really am. So, but I can't go on the news and say, yeah, fuck you, listen to the show. I gotta put on like a pleasant face, which is horrible.
Now, Eric, I heard you mention that you're going to be playing, you'll be talking up music, hitting the post, and you threw out a couple band names like Queen and Bad Company. So is this a classic rock station that you're on?
Not exactly. No. In fact, that's it doesn't really. It's just pretty much just a rock station. But this is a station that is it's a dying breed. They don't play a playlist. You know how most stations play the same songs.
Yeah.
They don't. In fact, they said to me, play whatever you want.
Oh, you get to pick the music.
Correct.
Oh, well, you got to talk about that. No one gets to do that. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and that's what what's interesting about the radio station, the couple that owns it, they have no professional radio experience. They just bought a radio station and just were like legit hiring people off the street who they thought were interesting.
This reminds me of when Randy Marsh decided to buy a Blockbuster Video in South Park because he didn't realize that no one goes to Blockbuster Video anymore. He's like, hey, this is cheap. I can buy my own Blockbuster? Sweet. Like, these people are just like, they're selling a radio station for $500. Let's buy it. What could go wrong?
Now, look, make no mistake. They have a lot of struggles in getting and selling radio because of the things that you and I have talked about quite extensively. But
that's what I mean. It's not radio stations aren't worth what they used to.
Right,
be,
right.
Sure.
From a program, and they struggle like everybody else is. There's no question. But from the standpoint of the programming, it's pretty unique what they do there.
I like it. I like the sound of that. I want to hear what you're into. I want to hear about your musical taste. I hear Drew Lane go on and on and on about all these bands and stuff, but I don't know what Eric Zane is listening to, and so I'm excited to find that out.
Right on. Now, to start the show, I'm going to only be concerned with getting on the air and just keeping the car on the road. So they're actually going to program it for me until I actually figure out what the fuck is going on. And then, yeah, okay. Absolutely. I mean, I could call up Karl and say, "Hey, it's Karl's Corner. What do you want to hear?" And then we could play the Isotopes.
I was going to start sending you some of my music over immediately, so we could do a whole hour. Commercial-free music.
Yeah, I can do whatever you want. Hey, this is my buddy Karl's band, the Isotopes. So, yeah, by all means, it's a free-form radio station.
That's amazing. Well, good for you, Eric. I'm looking forward to getting clips of you botching this another gig up so that we can make fun of you on Who Are These Podcasts.
Karl, it's always a pleasure. God bless.
All right, buddy.
See ya. There you go. He didn't say God bless back. That's great. I love that Jim Mingo is still in the fold. He's sending clips of me. Look what Eric did. That's cool. I'll take it all day. Okay, I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Ryan writes, that would be difficult to separate the characters. Yeah, Karl knew what he was doing. He wants me to say a bad word on the radio. Ryan says, imagine today's Kenny rant somehow slipping onto the airwaves. Quote, it's National Find a Down Syndrome Wife Day. Bob says, that would be a train wreck. I want to see that. Kenny says, that would have been great, Ron. Kenny shows up. Typically, if Kenny gets beat up on the show, he gets hurt, and then he'll cancel and then come back. But his skin is getting thicker. I love the whole realization part of the free podcast with, if anyone else would have said that, you wouldn't have noticed. Eureka! What? Are you suggesting you're fodder for comedy? Huh? You did it! Chris likes the South Park reference of Karl. Ryan says every episode of Kitchen Nightmare starts with Gordon Ramsay asking the failing restaurant if they have any restaurant experience. The answer is always nope. I just wanted to own that. Kenny says, you used to deny that. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? All right. I better leave him alone because I sense tears in the forecast if I keep this up. Tears or rage. Mike Tyson training. I have 2 Mike Tyson things to talk about. If you already know what the hell I'm going to talk about, don't say it. That's been happening a lot lately with people tipping fucking stories off. Shut your fucking mouth and enjoy the show. Here we go. This is Iron Mike training. This is from yesterday. It says it's day 1. The fun has just begun.
It's day 1. The fun just begun.
Okay, now he's not fat or anything. He looks like he's 25 years old. You heard him. It's day 1. The fun has just begun. He looks like that after day 1.
It's day 1. The fun just begun.
Okay. Now I have some information that I really can't wait to share with you. Details about the fight. This was sent to me by Amanda. This is the first time in a long time something she sent to me hasn't been retarded. I had no idea about this. The rules for the fight.
These are the ridiculous rules for Netflix's Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
No problem. Saturday, July 20th. See you there, buddy.
Mark your calendars. July 20th sees Netflix host its first live sporting event.
Look at his belly in that. Why does his belly look that way? Jake Paul. Is he wearing a fat suit or something?
Netflix hosts its first live sporting event, a boxing match with a twist. Jake Paul squares off.
It's got to be a fat suit.
Against Mike Tyson, but Paul gets to fight with headgear, use performance-enhancing drugs, and even tag in his brother for a temporary 2-on-1 situation.
Okay, that's the part I'm talking about. First of all, he uses full headgear.
Live sporting event, a boxing match with a twist. Jake Paul squares off against Mike Tyson, but Paul gets to fight with headgear.
Okay, that's important. Rule number 2.
Use performance-enhancing drugs and even tag in his brother for a temporary 2-on-1 situation.
Logan Paul in the ping prime. And his brother knows how to fight too.
Despite these stacked odds in Paul's favor, the odds makers still predict a win for the legendary 57-year-old Tyson. Who do you think's going to win? Let me know in the comments.
This is the hype video. All right, this is this makes this so much more ridiculous and excellent. All right? wears headgear, so he can't get hurt as bad. Number 2, Jake Paul is encouraged to use drugs. So from here till July, whatever, he's eating steroids like Tic Tacs. Fight night, he can snort cocaine, take meth, heroin, whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Blood doping. The rule is he has to take drugs. And then the third rule, he will be able to tag in his brother and they can do a 2-on-1. My God. Kevin says, no way this is true. I hope to God it is. I think it is real, Kevin. The 2-on-1? If you're Mike Tyson, you can kill that guy. But if there's any thought of him going easy on him, that goes out the window if it's 2-on-1. We gotta fact check this. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul rules. I'm seeing in various sources a newspaper called Indy 100. I don't know if that's based in Indianapolis or whatever. They say rules for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight ridiculed. The news of the rules are being spread right now. Let's see. They are using 18-ounce gloves and head guards. So we're watching a sparring match. It's a fucking joke. You think I'm paying to watch that? While the rules for the fight have yet to be officially confirmed, the comments put forward to the ridicule of them wearing headgear. No word about encouraged to use performance-enhancing drugs, or he can tag in his brother. So I don't know. Maybe this is bullshit. If that's the case, this isn't Amanda's fault. This would be my fault. Okay? It's not Amanda's job to fact check the stories. And you can't expect her to do that because she's unbelievably dumb. But I'm just as dumb. But this is nothing is official yet because this article says Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will not be wearing headgear. Rumors had emerged that they would be wearing headgear and 18-ounce gloves. But that does not appear to be the case. There is zero talk about encouraged to use performance-enhancing drugs or a 2-on-1 scenario. But let's be honest. Who doesn't want that? That would be unbelievable. If there's a 2-on-1 setting and the Paul brothers are on methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin and probably drunk. Raise your hand if you want to see that. I know I do. Chris says the odds changed once people saw what kind of shape Iron Mike was in. Kenny says 2-on-1. It sounds like wrestling nonsense. Yeah, I'm thinking this is bullshit. This is a bullshit story that is being spread. But boy, did I want it to be. You could tell I was excited about it. Chris says, I mean, we would just watch the video of Tyson training. He says, I can't believe how fast he still is. Yeah, Tyson seems like the type of guy to me, despite his age. I mean, he was such a freak that even now he could be devastating in the heavyweight division. Part of me wants him to resume his boxing career. You know? Talking about how to watch it. Is it not just included with the Netflix membership? Or is Netflix charging extra for this? They are not. People are just buying subscriptions to see it. I so want to see this. So I think that Amanda's story is absolute bullshit. Now, if I hadn't fallen for it myself, I'd be ripping her a new one.
Who do you think's going to win?
But I so want this to happen. Let's see what some of the comments are. No one's saying it's fake. They're all saying it's dumb. This is terrible. It's not, though. That would be the absolute best. 2-on-1, completely full of performance-enhancing drugs, being encouraged to use performance-enhancing drugs. Right on. Absolutely. All right. Bob says Logan Paul has been working in the WWE. Yeah, these guys are unbelievable showmen. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I can't believe that they wouldn't want to, though, because that really would be a spectacle. Maybe Tyson wouldn't want any part of that. You never know. You never know. All right. There's a trend going on. You remember the school pictures you got when you were a kid? There's a trend going on where when you get the kids' school pictures, you can, if you choose to, you can get them touched up. Like maybe take the shadows away, or if there's an imperfection that you want removed. And if you pay like a few bucks extra, you can take advantage of that or not. It doesn't matter. Like, for example, this kid right here. The before, after. Now, when I first saw it, I go, I don't see any difference. You really got to look. Like maybe a freckle here or a freckle there. They're now gone. Whatever. You would think that something as simple as this, who gives a shit? But on the front page of the New York Post, because of the day and age that we live in, because this is being offered as an add-on to the picture package that your kid brings home. Hey, if you like, we can touch them up for you. It's up to you. If you like, it's $12 because of the time it takes us to do that. You don't have to do it. Some asshole mom got outraged, of course, and announced that this is war on big picture. Big photography. We got to go after big photography. And because of that, it became a news story in the New York Post. Are you kidding? All right, here's how it goes. This is mom.
We're photoshopped out of his school photo. Is he okay? Right now, technically, yes. He's 3 years old. He doesn't understand what it means. Does it really matter if it's edited or not? Absolutely.
No!
How would you like it if somebody edited your nose off your face?
Yeah, they're not going to edit your nose off the face, asshole.
That's kind of part of you. It's crucial to you and your development.
An outraged mom shared this TikTok story where she emotionally explained her son's hearing, whatever, has been edited. His hearing aids had been edited out of his school photo. I don't know if there's any more comments. All right, there's no more comments. So she's pissed off. Now, I'll say this. If the kid sits down and he's got hearing aids and they take the picture and mom's like, well, no, if she had no intention of having those removed and then they did it for her, you're probably going to get a phone call. I don't know if it means anything more than that. Just, no, hey, you fucked up. Let's do the original. I don't know if it means do a TikTok video that goes viral because you're so butthurt that they took the goddamn wire out of the kid's ear. I would say, hey, thank you for that, but no, that's I actually want it. I mean, it's not like they did it to hurt the kid. They thought that maybe you might like it if you did that. You don't have to get so goddamn butthurt over this. Jesus, like everybody's another fucking version of Kenny. Jennifer Green doesn't want her 12-year-old daughter, Madeline, to feel pressured into looking picture perfect. So these are the pictures that I'm talking about. This is Madeline. She brought those pics home. And mom was furious. She had a fucking heart attack because Madeline's picture didn't show her freckles. So when the mom opened the 7th grader school picture package from photography company Lifetouch and saw that they could pay $12 for portrait retouching services, including teeth whitening, skin tone evening, and blemish removal, she freaked. Well, of course she freaked. That's what millennial moms do. They freak out. They overreact. I was shocked, she told the Post. I completely disagree with retouching a child's school picture because it's teaching the kids they need to look perfect all the time and that they can change with the click of a mouse. God damn it. Retouching options on school portraits aren't new, but they're now being offered to students as young as pre-K, and who cares? They're saying that this triggers a spike in anxiety and depression in teen girls. Oh, my God. The only reason why it would trigger a spike in depression in teen girls is if you make a big deal about it, and they are. You're making a huge deal. Either you get it or you don't. Who gives a fuck? It's how the mom reacts. Something as simple as photo retouching. God damn. She says, normal pic of my son. Here's the proof. What? I didn't see any difference. What? I think that's the kid who has like the goddamn wires sticking out of his ear. I'll tell you right now, if my kid has wires sticking out of his ear, I'm like, you're goddamn right you're going to retouch them. Go ahead and remove them. But that's just my choice. I just wouldn't want that done. Chris writes, someone will always be offended. Chris says, it is. Let's see the study showing a spike in depression over retouched photos. Chris says, this is exactly where I thought this would go. It could be shaming to a kid if they fix freckles or a mole or whatever. Oh, my God. What the hell? How embarrassing. Okay. That is my time. Tonight, Big Fraud Thursday. Shape of Butter will be broken down. You guys are the best. Thank you. I'll talk to you later on. Bye-bye. Hello. What a day, my gosh. Thank you so much. Easy with you on another edition of the Patreon bonus podcast. I have some new people to welcome in who have signed up. Thank you for that. That would be MT. MT just signed up for the $5 a month tier 1. Thank you. I appreciate you. Enjoy. Make yourself comfortable. And don't be a stranger, please. Also, Chris Gregg signed up for the 7 days. Chris Gregg also signed up, is following me on, just started following me on X as well. That's kind of unusual, the name Chris Gregg. Maybe it's like related to the famous Chris and Greggs. Which, by the way, I continue to get the shit beat out of me on the goddamn Freeburn Hot Wings Facebook fan page. Again, minding my own fucking business. And I get blown up on there as Chris weighs in, still no puppies. Yeah, today is an interesting day because Pooh Bear has a day off today from work. So she is on puppy duty. The puppies will be back tomorrow right here. You can count on that. Linda says, hi, I'm glad he squeezed us in between my meetings. Busy meeting day for you. Kenny says, I was reading Kenny's post. Kenny has diverticulitis. Ugh. So in your colon there, you got those little pouches and those little nooks and crannies and things to help you in your digestion called the diverticuli. And sometimes they start to go and bark at you. They become inflamed. Inflammation has set in, and that is a painful thing. Oh, boy. So my man's dealing with that. Here he was making all the right choices on the day, too. He sat down and had a smoothie. He's thinking, that's it. I've got this. I've got today locked up. Even then, even though he started feeling like shit, he went for the chicken and the rice. And then it all came crashing down on him. No more seats for Kenny. Yeah, I don't know if it's sometimes diverticuli. I'm pretty sure you can get away with it not being a chronic thing. It might be a flare up, and then you kind of maybe make some modifications in the diet, and then you'll be fine. So that might be in the cards for you. All right. So Doug from Bosco's fell down the fucking steps. He got home from work on Friday, and I don't know how it went down. He's not exactly the most nimble guy. He's got like a couple of new hips, I think. I think he had hip replacement surgery. Both of them. Right and left. What else could they be? Right and left. So they said, easy. What's your schedule look like for this coming week? I go, well, first I ruled out Tuesday because I got a basketball game. Bosco's only serves dinner. We need people there. We need more workers in order to have a lunch. They should have a lunch. You're leaving money on the table. I go, I'm out Monday and Tuesday. Doug E., which is Doug's kid, says, all right, no problem. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I go, I can help you then. But then I got done with all this shit today, and I go, you know what? I think I can help you today, too. So I said to Pooh Bear, I go, look, hey, I might be going into work. She goes, I thought you were going to start saying no. I go, well, technically I wasn't asked. So I couldn't answer yes or no. I just said, if you need me, I will come in. I volunteered. She's just shaking her head at me. By the way, young Adam Schwab on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. This is the same day that he was operated on to repair his badly damaged shoulder and upper arm. He's blaming the medicine, but my God. Oh. If you happen to go to yesterday or the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast from a few days ago, it may have been one of the most painful examples of skip the labor, give me the baby. There was so much labor in that story. Oh, Adam, I see you're here. I hope you're feeling better, and I hope we can chalk it up to the medicine, because if you actually were not under the influence of the meds from the surgery, and that's a habit of yours, well, that needs to change. I am slowly but surely trying to get people to not be so fucking long-winded. Oh. And not only that, we never got a baby. All I know is I wanted to fucking murder myself. I wrote in the what do you call it? The descriptor of what we talked about. I wrote, we actually were happy that he broke his arm when he was done telling whatever story he was talking about. We're like, oh, God. Oh. So painful. And then he wrote, God damn it, it must have been the medicine. You better hope it is. You'd better hope that it is the medicine. Oh, it's all a blur to me. All I remember is that inside of my brain, these alarms were going off. It's like, we got a Maureen. We got a code red Maureen. Shit. No, actually, Maureen compared to Adam the other day, Maureen is Cliff Notes. Adam is War and Peace. It was horrible. Phew. Ryan says, holy shit, those news articles on Reddit are right about you, EZ. You're the hardest working man in the universe. Side hustles galore. You got to do what you got to do. If you're going to have a hot tub, you're going to have to keep that thing maintained. You can't just own a hot tub and then not put chemicals in it. It's all about the hot tub. Okay? You got to do that. It is time to sign up for the Eric Zane Show Podcast Tournament Challenge. I will give this to you. I fucked it up. Let's see. Tournament challenge. Here we go. This is what you need to sign up for your brackets. Kenny says, I used to do that, but now I try to rush to the point as often as possible. All it amounts to is this. For those of you who aren't keeping score at home, you don't need to give me, like, there's one point Adam's talking about going from one hospital to another hospital and the reasons why. It's like, dude, you got to fucking leave this shit on the editing room floor. You got to snip, take that big chunk out and never speak of it again. You got to get right to the fucking. Because back in the what I mean by that is in the olden days when we had VCRs for our pornos, we would put them in, and then back then there was dialogue and an attempt at plot, and we just fast forward right to the fucking. You got to get to the fucking. That's all the consumer wants. Get to the meat of the story. For fuck's sake, get to the fucking. All that build up and all that. No. Trust me on this one. Oh. Anyway, where was I? Tournament challenge. I have, you all will come in second. Or you all will fight for second because I'm going to win it. I have one number one seed making it to the Final Four. First of all, let me get to this portion of it because it's concerning Michigan State. Fucking Izzo somehow manages, after a horrible season, barely getting in. This time next week, we will be talking about Izzo getting into the Sweet 16 as they will squeak by Mississippi State. And then Michigan State is going to take out number one seeded North Carolina. Yeah, that's happening this coming weekend. And then Michigan State will play Alabama, fourth seeded Alabama. Alabama will beat Michigan State and get to the Elite Eight. Alabama will lose to Arizona, who kind of steamroll their way on into that round. And that means Arizona goes to the Final Four, where they will face the second-seeded Iowa State Cyclones, who get by South Dakota State, then Drake, Then number 3, Illinois. Iowa State and Auburn play for the right to go to the Final Four, which Iowa State will win. Now, in the Midwest, how about those Volunteers? As Tennessee beats the shit out of St. Peter's, 15th-seeded St. Peter's, number 2 Tennessee. Then Tennessee will beat UVA/CSU, which I don't know what that is, who they upset Texas. Tennessee will then beat Creighton, who will have beaten Akron, and then they beat South Carolina. Tennessee will face, in the Elite Eight, number 1 seeded Purdue, who will beat the fuck out of MTST/Graham. Don't know what that is. And then Purdue will beat Utah State. Gonzaga will face Tennessee. Tennessee will win to go to the Final Four. Tennessee will face Iowa State in the national championship in a few weeks. And Tennessee will win it all. It'll be the only perfect bracket in existence. And I will go down with legendary status for my ability to do this. I couldn't tell you the name of the only college basketball player whose name I know, because on the free podcast, I told you that I didn't even know the name of any college basketball player. I do know one. Steven Izzo. And the only reason why I know Steven Izzo is because he's Tom Izzo's adopted son. Tom Izzo has 2 adopted kids. I think Tom Izzo's shooting blanks. Anyway, he wanted to spend more time with the son, so he quote unquote earned a walk-on spot on the team, and basically he helps with practice. That's what Steven Izzo does. So there you go. That's what's going to happen. Ryan says he's going to win it. Maureen says, go green. I love March Madness. Anything can happen. Kenny says, must be exciting if you care anything about basketball. March Madness is Super Bowl level of intensity, in my opinion. It's ridiculous. I don't give a shit about any of those teams. I don't even know any of those fucking players. All I need to know is that if there's a minute left in the game, watch it. That's all you need to know. Linda says the ones with the slashes are the play-in games. Oh, I get it. So they're not okay. Now I get it. Thank you. She says that made me laugh out loud. Linda says, you know how Izzo found his son with the help of Nick Saban? Oh, I didn't know that. Found him? What do you mean? Like looked for the through like adoption agencies? Maureen says Izzo's daughter is not adopted. Okay, there we go. I didn't know. Well, I got my info from my son-in-law, Jussie. He said, I think Tom Izzo's shooting blanks, but obviously not. Well, anyway, I gave you that link, and then you go there and you fill out your bracket. You're only allowed one, and have at it. You got to get that shit done by Thursday. The first game that's going on is the Michigan State game. The very first game of the tournament, 12:15 Thursday, Michigan State against Mississippi State. I can't tell you how happy I am that I don't have to do the huge show. That was so much pressure doing the huge show because I don't know. I can't pull it off. It just, I felt like at the end of that thing last week that I was like, God damn it, I am just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. And I was tired. Oh, was I tired. I'm just happy that it's over. Too much. I gotta relax. I gotta relax by going to work at Bosco's. I have an update for you on the dude up north. We talked about it on the free podcast. Who the author, Dominic Fuller, went into the kindergarten class and they said, hey, here's author Dominic Fuller and his book, CC and the Sheriff. Kid's book. Hey, everybody, I'm Dominic Fuller. This is my book, CC and the Sheriff, and I'm going to read it to you. And they go, oh, yay. And he reads this cute little book. That's it, leaves. And then the priest who's in charge of it, in charge of this school, because it's a Catholic school, he then goes on Facebook and says, I'm really sorry that we had someone who is a sinner or some shit like that, or who doesn't uphold our values. The guy was gay, you know? And so he didn't come out into the class and say, hey, kids, I'm gay, and this is my gay book. It was completely out of context. And the priest, lit into the guy on the church's Facebook page, or the school's Facebook page. So, make matters worse, the guy was on TV talking about how bad it made him feel. And he's dying. The guy's got ALS. Nick writes, stay tuned for the sequel. Cece calls the wambulance. Oh, no. I don't know, man. I feel pretty bad for that guy. I mean, sure, you're tough as nails, but Dominic might not be. I mean, you can't do that. And besides, the guy's going to die. That's kind of ugly, Nick. I'm surprised at you. No, I'm not. Anyway, there's an update.
I came into a classroom to share the joy and love that I have for what I created and why my sexuality.
Yeah, Nick, what the fuck is wrong with you, you asshole?
Has anything to do with that. Anything. And it makes me mad.
A Michigan author deeply hurt by a priest's comments. New tonight, continuing coverage.
Nick, have you ever been hurt, for fuck's sake, you dirty asshole?
On a story we first brought you Thursday, an apology from a Beale City priest over the reading of a children's book by a gay man. Now some parishioners of the St. Joseph the Worker Church and School are calling for the priest to resign. Fox 17's Sam Landstra talked.
Her head is too small for that much hair. Something's off with that. I don't know what it is.
With the woman representing that movement.
The resignation of Father Tom Held ought to be imminent, said a parishioner and a parent who sends her kids to St. Joseph. But her dissatisfaction with the priest didn't start this week. She says the apology was the final straw.
Father's job is to welcome everybody. Because of the comment, it has gone wild.
So I'm guessing that if Nick went to that church, it's got to be like, yeah, let's go. Let's go and weed out these gays, Nick.
It didn't need to be.
That comment, a Facebook post from Father Tom Held on the church page.
So, basically the priest apologized for having one of the gays read the book.
The priest said on Wednesday, a guest who does not represent the values of our Catholic faith recently read his book to a pre-K class at St. Joseph the Worker School. While its contents were, quote, appropriate, he said a new vetting policy would prevent anything of the sort from happening again.
I wonder what that vetting process is. So if another author comes in, does the priest say, so I need to know, do you suck dick? Are you gay? I mean, imagine that.
I don't think it needed to take place. I think it was an internal matter.
The post, presumably made because of the author's sexuality.
He just came in to talk, and I don't think it was necessary to call him out for that.
The way he made me feel like I'm a predator.
And then to top it all off, this guy's 1 year into an ALS diagnosis. That's why it's affecting his speech. This poor son of a bitch.
Or like a convict or something coming into the school.
In a Thursday interview with Fox 17, Thrasher, too, called for Held's job.
It's for a second. He made me want to stop.
I can't believe Nick at the arena is such a stone-cold, heartless prick. He can't get behind this guy.
I didn't want to do it.
And for once, when we were playing this story, I'm glad I didn't say anything, because when he was talking, I thought, man, this guy talks fucked up. I might have to make fun of him. I'm so glad I didn't, because that would have been horrible.
That day, St. Joseph canceled school over reaction to the apology. And on Friday, 79 students stayed home, including Johnson's children.
I think that a resignation or a removal is the only necessary and the only outcome that can happen.
That's not going to happen. Catholic priests can put his dick in 100 assholes of children and not get moved.
In a one-page request for resignation, members of the school and church community detail concerns over the father's ability to represent the values of the parishioners, saying he's historically shown a lack of engagement and support for the children.
Shied us away from wanting to come to church by things that he's said and things that he's done.
The Saginaw Diocese also releasing a statement Friday, saying the bishop has reached out to Thrasher and the superintendent of schools plans to be in Beale City Monday.
This is just what kind of pushed, I think, the parents and the parishioners over the top.
What led to the letter may impact the school's bottom line.
By the way, this reporter, it really needs to work on his delivery. Oh my God.
As Johnson says donors of an April fundraising auction have pulled out. They want to see change at the top.
And we want...
I wouldn't have used the term pulled out in this story.
Him to be removed so that we can move forward as a community and restore the faith in everybody.
Now this afternoon, I tried to contact St. Joseph the Worker Church, but could not reach them. Their offices are closed on Saturday. For now in studio, Sam Lanstra, Fox 17 News.
Yeah, they got to go there. Okay, we got to get back to old school news reporting. Bust out the old Susan Samples style. If the extent of your work as a TV journalist is just call on a Saturday, bullshit. There's already there's always vigil mass, usually 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and you just wait. And then the priest will be greeting the parishioners. Have a good week. Bless, peace be with you. All that. And then you go, hey, Father, what do you have to say to me now? Yeah, you got to do that deal. And Ryan says what I was just saying. Yeah, this Poindexter of a kid reporter certainly isn't a Susan Samples. Linda says, let's discuss the priest's sexuality next. Oh, yeah, you know that guy's been balls deep in kid. Chris is not much better than Nick. He writes, yeah, Nick, just because he's a rump ranger doesn't mean he can't read a book, you assholes. You know, there's a lot of wonderful people that I love very much. I listen to this goddamn show who are gay, and you two assholes, I can't condone that shit. What the fuck? Anyway, I hate this story. I fucking hate that priest. I hope that son of a bitch dies. Fuck that priest. All right, moving on. These three ladies are taking a bike ride, and a fucking mountain lion comes out of nowhere and starts chewing on the face of one of these three people. She musters up the strength to pin the mountain lion down. I'm not even kidding you. Look at this. The lady in the purple, that mountain lion was eating her face. Woman pinned cougar during hand-to-hand combat to save friend trapped in its jaws. So I guess this is the chick that was getting her face chewed on by the cougar. And one of these two did the deed. I think this woman in the middle might have lesbo strength. If that's the case, she can kick tons of ass. Because I know my daughter, she's like stronger than me. And that's why I say to her, I go, my God, you have lesbian strength. And she goes, I know, I can kick your ass. I go, I know, Jesus Christ. All right.
They're amazing.
Carrie, Annie, and Tish are competitive cyclists and have been riding together for at least 5 years. But on February 17th, a ride would turn into a fight for Carrie's life.
And the attack just happened.
Wait a minute. Let me
so
back
fast.
that up.
The 17th, a ride would turn into a fight for Carrie.
I think that's the cougar underneath the bike. Yeah. The chick standing has already had her face eaten off, and the cougar is being pinned underneath the bike somehow.
Carrie's life.
And the attack just happened so fast.
A group of 5 women started riding.
That looked like a female version of Woody Allen there. Wow.
A group of 5 women started riding from Tish's home in North Bend and made it to Cocoa Creek Trail near Snoqualmie. Then 19 miles.
Yeah, we don't need those details. So who's this? Fucking young Adam Schwab telling the story?
Miles into their ride, 2 cougars ran out from the brush. One kept going into the woods. The other lunged at Carrie.
From the time we saw the cougars to the time it took Carrie off her bike was about.
She looks like she could be a orc in the Lord of the Rings, but wouldn't need makeup.
3 seconds.
1 second, I'll say.
So we didn't have a chance to face off with them to scare them away or anything.
I just remember getting tackled from this side and then ending up at the other side of the road.
I immediately tried to choke the cougar, which was like choking a rock.
The women used sticks and a large rock to try to get the cougar off Carrie, but it had her face clenched in its jaw.
I knew every second what was going on, and I was doing my own, poking at it and trying to poke his eyeballs out and get up his nose and pry his mouth with my hand.
15 minutes into the battle, a small
15 minutes? She's in that thing's mouth for 15 minutes?
Moment of release, and Carrie was able to get away. The group managed to get a bike on top of the cougar and hold it down until help arrived.
Carrie's just laying there by herself, and we just kept saying, are you doing okay? And she would just give us a little bloody thumbs up that she was doing okay.
A fish and wildlife officer got there and shot and killed the young cougar.
Oh, God damn it! I was hoping the cougar wouldn't get killed.
Carrie suffered severe damage to her face and permanent nerve damage, but says thanks to her friends, she made it out alive.
I think it's the epitome of
I feel bad for the cougar.
true friendship and love.
Why do I feel bad for the cougar? I should feel bad for that chick.
Action.
I know for a fact I would be dead if they didn't come back in. I would just be gone.
We just did what we had to do, and part of it was just primal instinct. Just get in there and fight.
Mama
fight
bears.
for a life. So the cougar wasn't going to take us cougars down.
Get it? They're cougars. You hear that, guys? Cougars. Yeah, it's actually quite fantastic. Linda says, I hope she didn't hurt the cougar. Exactly. That's what I said. Man, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Let's see. Chris is here after this horrible gay slur. Kenny says, I really never know which Chris is which except for Zoom. Okay, Chris Perry is in Buffalo. And he is not anti-gay. He was just making a fucking smart-ass comment. Nick, I don't think, is anti-gay. That he didn't say anything anti-gay. Nick didn't say anything anti-gay. He just said the guy's crying. He was, he was like a crybaby. The guy, the ALS guy. Aaron says, why would you cycle in cougar country without a firearm? Bob says it's just nature doing nature things. Exactly. All right. Okay. I was going to get to the story about the grandma who got impaled by the forklift, but there's really not a lot to it because they don't have the detail. All I know is that grandma was working at the Walmart and she got impaled by a forklift. What a way to go. Heartbroken Texas family seeking answers after grandma was impaled by a forklift at a Walmart distribution center. 68-year-old mom of 4, grandmother of 13. Jesus. The bereaved family learned of the incident on the news. Said the family's lawyer, oh boy, Danielle Rio's granddaughter turned on the TV, and that's how she found out. This is the look of a family that is about to get millions, tens of millions of dollars. That's why this one here is smiling. These two are loving this, apparently. Everybody else is upset. These two are having a good time, I guess. Grandma was killed by a fucking forklift. Chris says Walmart has deep pockets. Ryan says the way you said grandma at first reminded me immediately of grandma walking in on that kid eating a vagina. Anyway, the family's talking about how great she was, of course. All sorts of pictures of her doing great things. Walmart said they're withholding comment. Family is saying, why wasn't I notified? I am her emergency contact. Why did I find out on the news? I'd say that's worth $50 million right there. Walmart reps say they're conducting an internal investigation. Well, yeah, the investigation is somebody was careless with the fucking forklift. Our deepest condolences go out to Elena's family. We're conducting an internal investigation cooperating with OSHA. So, yeah, this is one of those weirdo OSHA deaths where they investigate and, kind of like Bumblebee Tuna, or perhaps the guy who fell into the thresher, or the lady whose head got ripped off in the potato chip machine at the Lay's factory. So all things that have happened to real people. That's a horrible way to die. You got impaled by a forklift. Jesus. Awful. A lot of terrible news on this show today. Overall, a great success. Chris says forklift operator is going to need some remedial training. Chris says Walmart will end up saying she didn't have the proper PPE on or something stupid. My God. Grandma's a martyr. Family's going to be rich. Look at my wound. Blistered up. It's kind of cool, actually. It's like I got a brand. Scarred for life on my first day of the insane asylum. All right, that's it, folks. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another Riv Roaring edition of the Insane Asylum on Q100 Michigan. Download the Q100 Michigan app and listen to the show. Until next time, have a good one. Thank you.